You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ryan Schlittler, and this is Blake Lawson, and I'll be talking to him about Lectio Divina. First off, just explain what is Lectio Divina and how is it different from other prayers?
Well, Lectio Divina originated in the early monastic times when not everybody had a Bible and not everyone knew how to read. And so originally the monks would gather together in chapel, and one of them would read the scripture aloud and the others would listen, and they were taught kind of during that time how to listen to the scriptures with their hearts. So not just with their ears, but with their hearts. And so that's really where it started. So it's a form of prayer. It's different from most other kinds of prayer, just because it's unique to itself.
Right.
And it really is focused on engaging the scriptures and listening to God's message for you personally with the ears of your heart.
Very cool. So when did you start Lectio Divina?
The first time I prayed Lectio Divina was in seminary. And so that would have been back in the early 2000s. It was when I was at Conception Seminary, which is a Benedictine seminary, and the Benedictines are well known for praying Lectio Divina. And so it was there that I was introduced to it, and at least started to kind of make that a part of my prayer life.
So how do you think you've progressed with Lectio Divina, if at all?
Well, I think I have, because it's really my favorite form of prayer. And it's the kind of prayer that I use most of the time when I'm praying just by myself. So I've grown in it a lot. I think there's a lot of depth that's still left to go. But one of the things that's been really wonderful in learning how to pray Lectio and praying it regularly is really learning how to listen to God's voice more in my life. And also it gets me more involved in reading the scriptures, which is something that I need more in my life too.
So you think outside of the Bible, do you think your relationship with others has improved, because of this?
Well, I guess in at least in some sense, my relationships with others have improved. Really, Lectio Divina, one of the things I really like about it is that it can be prayed individually by oneself, or it can also be prayed in a group or in a community. And so one of the things I've really enjoyed is introducing other people to Lectio Divina, and especially in our high school and middle school youth group. That's one of the forms of prayer that we use on our prayer nights, and it's really been a blessing to introduce this form of prayer to other people. And so I guess in that sense, throughout my life, but also since I've been here at the Church of St. Mary, it's been really beneficial in helping me to grow in my relationship with others in that way.
So you definitely think you've kind of introduced it to others and just kind of see how they're going with it.
Yeah, it's part of my job, so to say, here. Yeah. Lectio Divina, at least that's how we're helping our youth to grow. But I say, also just in my own personal life, I've had several conversations with people when they ask about, I don't know how to pray. How do you pray?
Right.
Or what's a good way for me to pray? What's a good kind of prayer? Almost always I start them with Lectio Divina. And the reason is that it's really a pretty simple form of prayer. It involves a few steps, but the steps happen kind of pretty naturally. And I think sometimes when we go into prayer, we don't know where to start. Right. We don't know what words to say. We don't know how to talk to God. And so Lectio Divina is really great because the words are already there. It's the scriptures. And the words get our imaginations going and kind of can help us to start a dialogue with God. So that's one of my favorite things about Lectio is that it's very organized. There are steps that you walk through as you're praying Lectio Divina, and that can help people who maybe feel intimidated when they go into prayer.
Very nice. And just the last question, do you think, you kind of explained it earlier, but do you think that your bond and like your connection with God has just drastically improved since starting this prayer?
Well, I do think that since I was introduced to this kind of prayer, but especially once I made it more personal, once I started to pray this form of prayer regularly, Lectio Divina has been, it's really been a catalyst for me to start to listen more, and I joke around a lot with our youth about, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Right. We should use them proportionally, And so for me, I realize in my life too, I need to listen more than I speak, and especially in prayer. And so Lectio has helped me to learn to listen to God more. There is some interior talking that takes place. You're talking to God about what he's trying to say to you, but really you're doing a lot more listening. So that's been really beneficial in my relationship with him.
All right. Thank you so much, Blake.
You're welcome. Thanks, Ryan. And